Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan. What's up?
That's me.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Okay.
It feels like it's been a...
Hang on, I gotta steal a car first.
Oh.
And then blow up a boat.
Gotta crank up your engine.
Yeah.
And then get you revved
and then
up.
carry an entire log.
Oh my god, dude.
The whole tree.
So, today, on this most magnificent episode, we watched another Arnold Schwarzenegger classic.
Back to our roots, you see.
80s film.
Mm-hmm.
Squarely in the middle, made in 1985. And boy, what a gem this is.
Yeah. It's something else already.
It is so... it is so of its time.
Yeah.
There's like really almost cringy one-liners.
Cringy?
I mean, some of it was. You got to admit.
Those are classics.
There's a couple of them that were a little on the, like, ooh.
Aged like a fine wine.
I guess.
What happened to Sully? I let him go.
Well, like I said, some of them are funny, but then some of them are a little, like I said, on the rougher side. It's not bad though. But
Name one.
I can't name one right now.
Damn
but if you watch it, then you can. There's a couple of them that like anyways, they're not bad. They're hilarious and they're very appropriate because they're in an 80s action film. So even though they come across as a bit like, it's also like the context is like,
Right.
I would expect that nowhere else, but it's squarely in this film.
Of course.
And it's perfect. And I love it. By no means am I saying that I didn't like any of the hilarious comedic, comedically timed lines in there. So
Hilaric comedians.
yeah, comedians. We watched Commando, and I believe, looking at the case, I believe you've shown me the case before for this film, but
I
I
definitely showed it to you whenever I got it.
But I really don't remember. I don't think you've told me.
I could have sworn you had at least heard of it.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
And this is one of those that I think really just went underneath my radar.
Yeah.
That I just really don't.
Mhm.
I don't.
Was not aware of.
Exactly.
Criminal.
But there's a lot of actors in here that have played in other action films along
definitely.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff like that. I was trying to find I lost it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Podcast failed.
Well,
We'll get them next
you
time.
win some, you lose some. Bill Duke.
Let's not lose this one, please.
no, please no. Let me double check. We're recording. Yeah, we're good. Bill Duke, who played Cook, what was his character in Predator? What was his name? The character name?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so there's been a couple of people in the film that a short appearance by
Mac.
Yeah, what is the guy? He was like the Navy officer for for a hot minute.
Yeah.
He was another character in I think it was Aliens.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways,
Good old Hicks.
Good old Hicks. But yeah, let's start off by, when was the first time you watched this movie?
Oh, geez.
Because there's been I'm guessing this is one that you've seen many times before.
Yes. It was. Oh, geez. I would have to say it was probably around the same era of early on-demand movies.
I see. Okay, got it.
Back when we still had cable.
Yeah, back in the dark ages.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah, do I? God, I remember setting up the internet for the place that we're currently staying at, and in the process, the guy was trying to sell me like a cable package, and I was and like a lot of times, like how there's like the sales pitch,
right?
And how the guy's like, well, you can get it bundled, well, this kind of stuff, and like a lot of times traditionally, you're supposed to be like respectfully, like no, thank you.
Oh, fuck off.
Not even like the guy was he was like trying to kind of tell his spiel, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there. And I was like, and then,
let me stop you right there, sir.
And I did. I was like,
Damn,
but I was like, I didn't want the poor guy to waste his breath, because I was like, I told him, I was like, I'm gonna get the biggest the most gigabit internet package you can give me.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, all I'm going to do is stream videos, stream YouTube.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be used for.
Ain't about the surfing no more.
And I was like, and that is
Time
what it
to
is.
stream.
And the thing is, like, the second I broke that tension of like customer sales pitch guy, and I was like, let me just, this is what I'm here for.
Stop.
And that's the only thing it's going to be. All of a sudden, he was like, you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
And he was like,
all right.
The whole conversation took a different turn. He was more
Wow.
chill, and he was like, you know what? Hey, you're here for what you want. You're going to get what you're going to get.
I
And I'm
get
like,
it.
that's it. So anyways.
That's amazing.
But needless to say, like I had said initially, I
Never heard of it.
never really heard of it.
Yeah.
So, and again, in the like the opening credits, how they have like the big name people at the top. Apparently, they scrolled through
Yeah.
the name of the film
Yep.
in the mingle of all that, and I wasn't really paying attention to those like the names and the things
Right.
happening
He
at
was
the
too busy
beginning.
with the father-daughter montage.
Right, and we were also kind of cracking a joke because obviously he's like
Right.
he's Arnold Schwarzenegger with like maybe what 8-10-year-old girl or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like throwing her around and
Like, geez Louise, bro.
He's
gonna
like
break
he's
something.
having a fun time with his daughter, and it's very
Yeah.
heartwarming. It's like it's setting the foundation for what the core of this film is.
Right.
So we're like cracking jokes, having fun because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're making a joke like he's toughening up his daughter. Like I
Right.
taught you better than that.
Remember your
Yeah,
training.
remember your training. And he's like in the pool with her, and he like, I mean, she like
He's just throwing
she
her
like
around.
swims over to him. He just like picks her up and just like full rotates her.
Like into the other end of the pool.
Rotates her fully. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But anyways, so we're having a fun time with this little bonding
Yeah.
moment.
They had to put in little girl stunt doubles for those.
Right,
A couple of them died. That's no laughing matter.
she got whiplash real bad. So like any good action flick, really calling back to like a Rambo phase or something like any good, I feel like 80s action flick
Things will
starts
explode.
off. Yes, but I'm talking about the beginning, the start. You have a man who is like ex-military,
Right.
Who's done,
Retired.
who's retired, who's having the simpler life. But we also, the weird thing is, before we even get started with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character and his daughter, there's a montage of these like goons,
Oh yeah.
like just killing people. One of them being the character Cook, played by Bill Duke, who, I mean, man, what I loved his performance in this film. He just has that blank expression of just like soulless. And it just feels like a bad guy character, and it's so good. But anyways, they start killing off people, and it seems kind of random, but also like a little planned in a way.
Yeah. There's definitely intent behind these these murders.
Exactly. So then, after this heartwarming scene, a military helicopter comes, flying, barreling, if you will, towards Arnold's character's name is John. Towards John's home, lands the helicopter, 2-star. What was his rank? Was he a captain, general? Is a general, I guess.
Yeah, he was a general.
Yeah, 2-star general comes hopping out, and he's like, he's out. He's out of the bag.
All right.
I'm like, bro, what? He's like, he's killing them off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna leave my
Taking out your team. We gotta move. We gotta keep you safe before they get to you.
Right. I'm gonna leave you with 2 of these little rookies back here to
Right.
keep you safe.
Are they good? Well, sure, but not as good as you were. Then I'm dead.
Yeah. I literally said,
Find someone better.
my response was, then why bother? You want to talk
Not
about
even like
God, the helicopter flies off
it
just
hasn't
far
even
enough
been
away.
a full hour since he left,
Right.
and he's walking like back up to his house, and he's just standing like near the front door. He turns around, and he senses them. His fucking commando sense
Yes.
goes off. And
Grabs
he
his
just ducks
daughter.
for cover with his daughter, and they get mowed down.
Right.
One of them is nailed pretty good, but is able to like crawl into the house.
Right.
And
Bruh, that response, what he says next is what it literally, whenever he said that, I was like, okay, I know the tone for this film now. Arnold's character, John, again in this moment, he's like, he basically says that we're downwind, so it's going to be
Remember, they're downwind.
Exactly.
If you hear them coming, make a break for it.
Right.
And he's like, what, am I supposed to smell them? It's like, I did.
Right. And you're like,
it's just like, excuse me?
I see what we're dealing with now.
Right.
He's one of those characters.
Right.
And at that point, you're like, those guys never stood a chance.
Oh, no.
Those guys never stood a chance, but he obviously was fully prepared for this.
He's got a shed out back with
my God. He's got a gun. He's got a huge gun safe in his like garage shed thing. Basically, the very summarized plot of this film, like I was saying before,
super dangerous dude's daughter gets kidnapped. Super dangerous dude goes out on killing spree for revenge.
That was my personal AI. I just typed in a prompt and it repeated it.
I didn't mean for that to sound so robotic. Excuse me.
Just saying. No, but that's basically it. Is that you have a tamed killing machine tries to settle down with his daughter, and his daughter gets captured by one of his former squad members. And basically held for ransom because apparently there's no previous film, like this is the beginning of it, right? Okay,
this is standalone.
So a little bit of exposition, a little prologue, if you will. This one of the many missions that John's squad did was, I guess, put this person into power. He's president over. What did they say where it was?
It was a special op in a little country called Valverde.
Okay.
And he usurped the old like totalitarian ruler.
Right.
And put in place a new president.
Right.
Now, old dude isn't very happy with this change in status. So he's got one of Matrix's old squad mates helping him out.
Right. And in the crazy one at that.
Yeah.
The one that's like has a little too much fun killing people.
Bennett.
Right. So they take the daughter hostage, and the whole premise is we're gonna
send you off to Valverde.
Right.
You're gonna assassinate the current president.
Of course.
And then you're gonna let me take over.
And then when you do that, you get your daughter back.
Right.
Supposedly.
Quote unquote.
At least that's what you think.
Right.
But of course, John...
What are you going to do, not believe me? I got your fucking daughter right here, bro.
Colonel John Matrix knows better than that. He's like, they're going to kill her regardless. If I finish the mission or I don't.
This is not his first rodeo.
No, he knows this far too well. So they end up getting him onto like a plane to try and go out there. And dude...
I can only imagine this, whenever they roll up, he's like, oh man, I didn't know the fucking circus was in town.
Look at all these clowns thinking they can do something.
Bennett, you're missing your makeup. Yeah. Where's your nose?
Yeah. Where's your big red shoes, you doof? So basically, oh man, what a great premise.
Yeah.
It feels like such a classic action movie.
Right.
The story is good enough, and the characters really help drive it home, even though some of the dialogue, at least in the beginning part, was a little weird. Just the timing of it.
Yeah.
It's not bad though, but it definitely just
Less
feels
talk, more shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I really had a fun time watching
It's a fun
this.
movie.
It's a fun movie to watch. Basically, he ends up escaping from the plane that they have him on. And man...
Oh, and could you please not disturb my friend? He's dead tired.
Oh, God. It's so good.
It's
funny. I'm not going to lie. It's funny. But it also, at the same time, it's like, man, you really just...
My God.
You're laying
I can
it out
only
there.
imagine just filling that archetype of 80s action hero.
Oh, God. It's so good.
I would be barely contained.
In heaven. So basically, what the point that he's making is that they basically have his daughter hostage. They kind of have him hostage in a way.
Right.
So these two
Using
goons...
his daughter as leverage.
Exactly. They're going to use these two goons one of them is going to go with him to Valverde to quote unquote execute the mission.
Right.
So they hop on a plane together. And I just love that, like, there are so many characters in this film that pretend to have the upper hand, or I think their character
they believe that
really
they
really believes they have the upper hand,
and then boom,
and it's just so comedic.
Yeah,
like for instance, whenever that guy was talking about how we're down, when he's like, "Oh, do you expect me to smell them?" And he's like, "I did."
Yeah,
it's that kind of thing,
right?
What is the? I don't think I have the character's name on hand. Doesn't really matter. John Matrix and Goon number 2 get on the plane together, and like the Goon is obviously looking at him like, you ain't nothing.
Don't try nothing funny.
Don't try nothing
fella.
funny. And then of course, the guy sits down at the window seat, and John is going to sit down beside him in the aisle seat, and the stewardess comes over and is like, "Oh, do you have any carry on?" And of course, John just goes, "Not just this guy."
Right.
And it's like, okay, yeah.
To which he replies,
right.
"Open your mouth again and I'm going to nail it shut."
And of course, and then the funny thing is that like the very next thing that happens is like the stewardess comes around and he's like, "Oh, can I have a pillow and a blanket?" And he grabs the pillow and he hugs it in his body, and he gets his blanket all like unfurled for a second. And then of course,
as he goes to like pull the blanket over him, he gives his co-passenger a nice strong elbow to the head.
A strong left elbow to the jaw.
And then he just gives him a headlock and then just snaps his neck like
Gives
it's
him
nothing.
Yeah, like nice little like friendly arm around the shoulder. Then just goes,
noogie.
"Gotcha, bitch."
And he just lays him up real nice, puts the little blanket over him.
Yeah,
puts his hat over his face.
and that's that.
And bam, he's asleep.
And then I'm pretty sure he asked at a certain point, he's like, "How long is it going to take us to get to our destination?" She's like, 11 hours. And he's like, "Perfect."
Right. That's plenty of time.
And then in only like an 80s film can something like this happen, or just anything before like 2000, obviously. Right. He like finds his way through the guts of the plane. Just like
makes his way to the landing gear.
Oh gosh. And this is like probably one of the only things that I'm like, that does not feel.
There's no fucking way.
There's no way he would survive that. The plane just begins to take off as he's like holding onto the front landing gear. Yeah. And they get off the ground, and there's like a marsh.
A swamp.
Just past the runway. And I mean,
and he thinks, yes,
yeah,
perfect.
And I just love
just jumps.
So I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, a big enough plane like that, like takeoff speed is well over 100 miles an hour. Yeah. I think, if not even probably closer to 200 miles an hour. I could be wrong about that's why I give myself a large margin of error. But like, you're going pretty fast to get a plane like that off the ground.
Definitely.
As you'd imagine. And so he's on the front landing gear as they just take off. So let's say just to take the lower number here. Let's go ahead and round down, and they're going 100 miles an hour when he lets go of the landing gear to jump into this marsh.
Yeah.
In the scene that it cuts to, it's him falling straight down, and there's no
forward momentum.
There's no horizontal motion. He's just like falling straight down. And it's like, oh, I see. So inertia does not.
It does not transfer.
It does not transfer.
Once you are detached from the plane, it's all gone.
I'm just meaning for him.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, inertia doesn't happen. The second he lets go is like all of a sudden it's just like, oh, he just falls.
Like a brick.
Falls into like this little bed of reeds, I guess, and just is always fine. And it's like, okay, cool.
He just walks it off like it's nothing.
And I'm like, hey,
I ain't got time for this shit. My daughter's kidnapped.
More power to you. And he ends up, there's this.
He gets back to the airport.
Right. There's this woman. Her name is Cindy. Yep. And she's a poor lady. She's just minding her own business.
Can be stewardess.
Minding her own business.
Mm-hmm. And then this fucking creepo, Sully.
Ugh.
Funny guy. He might make you laugh.
He's a dite bag.
But I mean, you'll still want to kill him. He is like just standing behind the girl while she's on the phone with somebody, clearly a possible significant other, and he's just like, relationships and work don't really mix, do they? You look like you could use a date. It's like, no.
I'm fine.
No, I'm good.
But he can't take no for an answer.
Oh, no. He follows her, like, out of the airport.
Into the parking garage, to her car, and it's like, bruh, you really just got to...
No way, bro. This is red alert.
This is really scumbag territory.
You passed DEFCON 4.
You passed DEFCON. Gosh, dude. And then, of course, as he walks away and hops into his Porsche...
Suddenly Matrix.
just grasps
Don't
her.
move. I'm not going to hurt you.
Get in the car.
Step to the left. You said not to move.
You said not to move.
Do it.
He opens the car door and then proceeds to, with his bare hands, rip out her passenger seat. And I'm like, bruh, what are we...
Those aren't just any hands.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Those are F hands. But, so anyways, then he like, I don't know why. I mean, I get why, but like, why? He's rips,
too big. He'll stand out too much.
I guess, but just like recline the seat back. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't do that.
Okay, maybe. I just think he wanted to show off and damage someone else's property.
He doesn't have time.
I guess you're right. But anyways, so he like hops in there, and of course it is kind of funny because he's like, follow him.
Yeah.
And she goes,
oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
He started driving away.
Poor girl.
And she's sitting at like an average height, and he is sitting like
squat.
like
like she's got a fucking dwarf in the side seat.
It's little Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Gimli in this film. He's just like, and so they end up driving off, and there's a whole chase involved.
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up killing off that guy, and it's like there are so
we gotta talk about the mall scene.
Oh my god!
Yes,
man. They get to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally tells her a little bit of the plan, and he's like, "There's a guy. Mm-hmm. He knows the location of my daughter. If I don't find my daughter before a certain amount of time, they're gonna kill her." So I'm like, okay, so we got some stakes here. We're getting her involved in the story. And he's like, just go ahead and like lure him in, bring him over here, and I'll do the rest. You got it.
And of course, she doesn't believe a word.
Well, I mean,
because of course she doesn't.
Justifiably,
right? She immediately goes to one of the security officers in the little shop he's in. It's like a restaurant bar. And she's like, there's a paranoid schizophrenic man in a green shirt outside. He is giant.
He has kidnapped me.
And I need you to help me. So he's like, okay.
All right.
Yeah. Now, of course, she's got eyes on the dude that they're tailing.
Right.
Making a deal, getting some info.
Yeah.
And like, I'm assuming a passport to take a separate flight back to Valverde.
Right.
But oh god, he sees her and he's like, oh, round 2, let's go.
A little thing.
Right. So he like grabs her at the entrance. He's like, hey, how you doing? And then and then he sees Arnold in the distance fighting off like 5 security guards. And he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So he's like, give me a quarter.
Give me
a quarter.
I'm pretty sure his words exactly were, oh, Matrix.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit.
Right. So you know I'm fucked up now.
Yeah. Because at that point, it would be like, I can only imagine, because like the last things that he said to you before he left was,
I'm gonna kill you last.
You're a funny man, and I'll kill you last. And you're like, all right, buddy.
Yeah, okay, bro.
And you witness that man get onto a plane and watch the plane take off and then get in your car.
Yeah, it's like you're yucking it up in a bar like,
oh God.
Oh my God.
It literally would be.
It's like seeing the fucking Grim
That's
Reaper.
what I was just about to say. It's like watching. It's seeing your death play out before you before it even happens. The second he locks eyes with him, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm so dead."
Panic initiated.
And like what Dylan was saying, he's just like he viciously grabs Cindy's purse, like, "Give me a quarter,
give me a quarter."
And I'm like, What are you?
Runs to the nearest phone booth.
And this is how I know that I'm so far disconnected from that time frame, because I'm like, why do you need a quarter? And then of course he goes into a phone booth. I'm like, oh shit, that's the only way he can contact his people.
Right. So he makes it to a booth after you just see
so
Matrix like plowing through crowds of people.
Just just
like a bulldozer
bodying these freaking sheriff's officers.
Yeah, he fires. No, of course Sully has a gun, so he fires off around.
Oh yeah,
somehow dodges it, and he fucking like gets up in front of the phone booth, starts shaking the damn thing, breaking the glass. And
Sully's holding the phone,
takes it and rips it out of the ground over his head,
and then turns it over,
throws it on the ground,
throws it upside down.
Yeah.
So it literally it's like just imagine like you're to your left side, grab the phone booth, and then just raise it over your head, and then just like drop it on your right side.
It's
and
insane.
At that point, I'm like, holy shit!
Like, is this the fucking Hulk I'm fighting
I was
right
gonna
now?
say, we haven't even gotten like really into this film yet, and I was like, and I already know that we're gonna be in for a doozy.
It's the best.
He just full on ripped the phone booth out of the ground with the man in it.
Yeah.
And as you'd imagine, Sully's like, full panic mode. He's like,
right.
He like has his gun. He's like running around trying to shoot, aimlessly in the direction behind him.
Now, of course, Cindy, witnessing this, has realized.
Oh, at that point,
there may be more to his story.
The second Sully like made contact and realized who it was and started panicking and all that kind of stuff.
Oh shit, this is fucking for real.
Oh, man,
he's like, oh my god,
maybe John isn't crazy.
Right. So there's a security guard like who's taking aim at John. He's about to fire.
Yes.
And so he's like, no, don't. Just pushes him down a flight of stairs.
Oh man.
And she's just like, okay, in for a penny, in for a pound,
Yeah,
I guess.
here we
I'm
go.
with you.
Yeah.
He gets back in her car and starts to chase down Sully to get more info.
Right.
And she stops him and just hitches a ride.
In her car, by the way.
Right. It's like, okay.
I
guess I'm with you now.
Yeah. And then I loved this chase scene.
Yeah.
I love it so much because it really is just the difference between the two characters.
Mm-hmm.
John is unfazed. John Matrix.
This is a walk in the park for him.
He is, emotionless doesn't even begin to describe the amount of just not caring about what's going on his face. Just, dead is what it feels like.
Focused.
So focused. And just
he came at her with a decent attitude, like a sense of urgency. Like, hey, I'm not fucking around. My daughter is at stake right now. I need your help. And as soon as that breaks down, he's like, okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I have to catch Sully to find out what's going on and then potentially kill him.
Rampage, engage.
Exactly. And then, of course, but it's so funny because as you would imagine, her character, Cindy, is in the passenger seat and like is trying to get answers, but also is like panicked. It was panicking. And she's like, "Oh my god, wait! Whoa!
What are you doing?"
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger just being like,
Yeah, she's like, "Tell me what's going on." He's just like, "No,
no." What do you know? Watch out! It's like panicking. It's crazy, and I love that because it's just that whole sequence is just her just trying to fully grasp what's happening, and he's just like skirt. It's like I guess I'm just gonna catch him.
Yeah.
Ends up like just wrecking his car real good.
Oh
He
yeah.
drags him out.
Right.
She stays in the car and is not a part of this.
Right, stay here.
He grabs the room key and is like, I already have my answer.
Yeah, Sunset 9. Okay, got
it.
Now I'm gonna have some fun.
And then proceeds to like ask him where's the meetup spot. He's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you. But then not only that, he also is like, you can't kill me because like
I know only I know where they're gonna meet up.
Right.
It's like I'll take you there. And he's like, but you won't. He's like, what do you mean? Because I already know. And he flashes the keys, like dangles them in his face.
Right.
And he's like, oh, shit.
No, please.
He's like, you remember when I said I was going to kill you last? It's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
It's like, I lied. And he just fucking drops him off the side of the cliff.
Because at that point, he goes from like holding him in like strangling him by like the shoulders and neck to then like grabbing beneath his legs, throwing him over his shoulders, and then proceeding to like hold on to his ankle by his left arm, and he's like, "Don't forget, Sully, this is my weak arm. Now tell me what I want to know."
Yeah,
it's crazy. I love it. What a fun wild ride.
What happened to Sully? I let him go.
They end up meeting up at the place. Cook ends up showing up and they have a whole fist fight and it's so great. And then for some reason they
Green Beret's about to kick your ass. I eat Green Berets for breakfast.
oh god,
it's so good.
But then he ends up they end up like busting through a door, and there's like a whole ass couple in there.
Right.
And I mean, and I forgot this is again, what is this rated R or is this PG-13?
It had to have been R.
It is R. Okay, it's R. I mean, we just get full titty action.
Right.
I mean, we're like, they bust the door, and it's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Like, excuse me, sorry.
Holy shit. I don't know what's happening here.
Don't worry. I'll take care of this in just a second.
Right.
Hang on, I just got to impale this guy real quick.
Yeah, don't mind me. And there's like a whole sequence where they like find a plane and stuff, and they start like getting into like, they start really
break into a warehouse, triangulate their position on a map, find out where they're holding his daughter.
It feels so action movie logic, where it's like, I don't even know how you justify finding out some of this information, but you know, it's cool.
Yeah, this is after they find out like where the island is, and that's like where they're keeping, or at least where they think they're keeping his daughter.
Right.
Cindy is like, well, aren't we going to go? Where are we going to go now? And he's just like, shopping.
Oh, God.
So he finds the nearest military surplus store.
What was it called? Surplus
City.
Surplus City.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And he just hijacks a bulldozer, breaks into the shop, and just starts loading up. Cindy's got the shopping cart and everything.
Oh, yeah. And he's getting everything.
Yes. Every possible weapon and armament he could need. And they're about to leave, but then the police show up.
Of course. As they would.
as you would, yeah. They're not often overlooking break-ins, especially to surplus stores.
Oh, of course.
And John is detained.
Yes.
Cindy is fine, however.
Somehow.
And still has most of the weapons set aside in the vehicle.
Right.
Now, she's following the whole truck
that
they've set aside to keep him in because he's too fucking big.
Of course.
And she like pulls up next to him, cock's like, "Hey, it's looking good. How you doing?"
With the top down, with all of the armaments in the back seat. I'm like, bro, what?
Of course they don't notice. Everything's covered, I'm sure. But they go past the light, and he's looking in the rear view, like, and she's like standing up in the vehicle. It's like, what do you think she's doing? And he's like, I think she's got something for us. And the next shot is her pulling out the fucking bazooka
backwards
that they got from the surplus store.
Yeah,
and she like goes to fire it, but like you said, it's fucking backwards. So she just nails a street corner shop.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, what's happening?
So of course she flips it around, fires it off, no problem. Hits the back of the van. And he gets out. A little short of breath, but otherwise unscathed.
Of course. Miraculously.
Built like a brick house.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's just so crazy.
That's my favorite part of the whole fucking film.
It's so
only
great.
second to one that we'll get to in a minute.
Mm.
But they make it to one of the docks where they're keeping one of these seaplanes that they use to get to and from this island.
Right.
Because Cindy knows what type of fuel it uses because she's working on getting her pilot's license and her instructor gets fuel from the same spot and whatever. So
it's good logic. I mean, checks
definitely.
out. Mostly.
I mean, of all people, she would be the one to know about this kind of stuff.
Right.
But they're able to hijack this plane with minimal difficulty comparatively. They're being harassed by two gun-toting goons on a Jeep that is just steady riding down the dock.
Right, just slowly creeping on the dock. They're just like firing shots, and all of it's missing somehow.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, what?
And it's just not starting up. So John decides to pull out the old magic phrase, fly or die.
Oh, God.
And it works.
He just ends up hitting it. Works every time. You're like, bruh.
It's like, okay. Sure.
Yeah, just hit it.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I definitely have hit things and it's worked before, but all right.
Yeah. So they're able to get it airborne, and they get to where they're going.
Right.
And now, I was mistaken earlier. It wasn't Hicks, but Hudson.
Hudson, that's what it is.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
That is all over the radio letting them know that they're in a restricted air zone.
Right.
And if they don't change course, they're going to
get shot down.
fired upon. So Cindy decides to take it low and slow and just ride the waves to hide them from the radar. Which works.
Again, I don't know if that
somehow.
I don't know if that actually works or not.
Who's to say? Back in 1985, radar may have worked.
You know what? Maybe you're right.
But they make it a few miles off of the island in a nice, like, secure area, so there's no risk of being spotted or seen. And grabs just a little canoe, loads it up with everything he needs, and just paddles to shore. Now, this is to say all the while that Bennett and what's his face, the previous El Presidente, are like just scheming, conniving, just waiting to hear the call back from Valverde. And it's like, is he going to give us any trouble? It's like, not as long as we have his daughter. Mm-hmm. That's the advantage here. Oh man, he's just like, Bennett's just walking around the complex like, oh man, dude, your little goons are so adorable, trying to talk tough.
They do try to like scare him a little bit, and he definitely is like, bruh,
like, dude, just
get out of my face,
shut the fuck up. And the dude's like, my men are patriots, sir.
Your men are nothing.
Right. And like, not even like, that's word for word. Your men are nothing.
Yeah, right. And at that point, it also, like, I love that. I love the background for John Matrix's character.
He's got so much clout.
Right. And that's the thing, is like,
they don't even know. The only one that does know is Bennett and his daughter.
Exactly. The new president guy, or old, however you want to consider him. Right. The I guess the head maestro of this whole thing. Mm-hmm. He's like, are you trying to scare me? And he's like, no, I'm not trying to scare you. But like, trust me when I say that, you know,
the only thing standing between you and him
is me.
It's like, and then he's just like, oh, it must be you who's afraid. You're scared. It's like, well, of course.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
But I've got an edge. I've got his fucking daughter.
Right. And it's like, oh, okay, I see what's
all right, good. At least he knows. He's self-aware.
Yeah. He's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Insane.
But I think he understands.
Yeah,
and that's good.
He knows how he knows how to go about this.
Right. But anyways,
he gets to shore.
Yes. And I mean, this is where
strapped.
I mean, I have never seen, and I thought it was kind of funny too, as I've never seen a more ironclad,
over-prepared loadout. He has everything.
May I say, they really, I think, did some fan service to a certain selection of fans here.
Dude, are you kidding?
He's in the canoe in a Speedo.
Are you kidding?
So he rows onto shore.
It was a straight up. To see you. I hate that you have to go, but I love to watch you leave.
Exactly.
That motherfucker was not Mr. Universe for nothing.
He pulls his boat onto the beach, and he's just like in a full Speedo, and you're damn, I don't even know why, but you know what? I know just why.
Wow.
I know why though. You got paid to do that,
of course.
And so, and he puts some camo pants on.
Right. He's got the cargo pants. He's got the boots.
Right. Got black boots, and then that's it. But then he puts on a vest, and you're like, bruh. and then he starts like painting all these like black stripes on him and stuff.
Camouflage,
right.
War paint at the ready.
And then is when the arsenal begins, and he has a shotgun. He's got like a rifle.
He's got a Desert Eagle. He's got grenades.
Right. He's got grenades.
He's got binoculars.
Right. I think he has a bag of some kind, and the rocket launcher
and the bazooka.
He's carrying.
Fucking recoilless rifle.
And I just love that he's kind of doing that like hunched over run, like he's like
the roadie run.
And dude, and I'm not gonna lie,
the gun goblin.
I'm not gonna lie, he definitely looks like a little goblin going, like just like running around because he's got he's comically
got so many weapons,
packed with
a walking arsenal,
and then he's like running around with like his little toys, and he's like, and then of course like. He ends up, I mean, this is when the movie turns into full video game
brain
mode.
Dead action.
I mean, this feels like main character video game energy.
Oh yeah.
He gets onto the complex, and
he starts placing claymore mines.
Claymore mines around every building. Oh, yeah. He starts like strategically placing around and
kills a couple dudes.
Silent knife killing all these guys.
Guts one dude.
Oh yeah. He slowly cuts the throat of one guy.
Oh yeah.
Damn. But then, and then of course, like as kind of his cover's blown, he starts like unloading on some guys with his rifle, and then just like blows up all the complex.
These are tens of hundreds of men
so
on this complex.
Many, and that's what I mean by like main character energy.
Yeah, bullets whiz past him. Motherfucker looks like Fortune from Metal Gear Solid 2.
Right. It's almost like he gives it a few seconds for his overshield to recharge, and he's fine again. Right. Yeah. Even if he does get hit, it's like, it's fine. I'll brush it off.
Yeah.
But then
I wouldn't be surprised if one dude like throws a grenade and it just doesn't do anything.
Right.
A dud.
But then like he ends up blowing up this whole complex, and of course, like any good action flick, we get like multiple shots of the explosion because again, I don't blame them at this point in time. The amount of money it took to probably fabricate a building and blow it up like that was probably at least a good amount of money.
Yeah.
And you want to have at least 3 cameras on the shot just in case something happens. You want to get
every angle.
But then at that point, you're like, well, may as well just use every single shot.
Why not?
And so they start cutting between each. And I think that they do strategically place it looks like different buildings, and some are different buildings. It
goes through like each individual building, and then at the end, it does all the buildings all at once.
All again. And it's like, okay, cool, that's fine.
It's like, here
we are.
That blew up real good.
That's what I'm here for. But then. And then at that point, I love this, all this freaking, and to kind of rewind a little bit, and this is it's so true, is that whenever he's like getting on his raft and has all his like stuff in his bag, he's like, wait for my signal. Whenever you get the signal, it's like, I want you to, repeat. And she's like, code red.
Right.
Looking for General whoever and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, great, perfect. She's like, but when do I know the signal? He's like, whenever all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he blows up all these buildings. And then it cuts to Bennett, main bad guy. And he's like, oh, John, it's good to have you back.
Glad you could make
it. Yeah. It's like, oh, man, that's so good because he knows. He knows so well.
I'm gonna have a question for you as we get like further towards the end.
Okay.
So while all this chaos has been happening, General Franklin Kirby has been on this fucking like aneurysm-inducing goose chase trying to find John.
It literally feels like he's like one step behind him every time he gets to the chaos, the aftermath of the situation. Is like, oh shit. I missed him.
It was like, where is it? And one of his dudes is like, sir, who is this guy? What kind of mess are we going to be expecting here? And he's like, World War III. And I'm like, what? What do you mean?
What do you mean this guy can do that kind of shit?
Right. Major security risk. We either get him now or we're going to have to take him out.
Before he gets to the island, there's a phone call because they get... The plane lands, and of course, the hat gets removed from the goon on the plane, and he obviously is like blue and also bleeding from the nose. And you're like, oh, shit. So obviously, they relay the information, and then the president puts up the phone, and he's like, he wasn't on the plane. And Bennett knows, and he just goes,
kill well, of course he wasn't.
Kill the girl. And you're like, oh, shit.
Uh-huh.
So as, again, flash forward, he's shooting guys. There's so many extras that are just getting mowed down. Yeah. And I mean, if there's one thing that's done pretty well is like all of the practical effects for like the blood, like the gunshots on the chest and the guys just committing to just like flinging their bodies around is great. We're talking like a full montage of him like running around just like shooting goons, and they're just like
grenades.
I mean, falling off buildings.
Oh yeah.
Falling over like little walls or like blasting fountains, and it's hilarious. It's great.
Amazing.
There's a grenade that's thrown, and guys are just like, "Well," and you're like, "Holy shit, dude!" It's great.
It's ridiculous
because it feels like Mission 4 of a Call of Duty campaign.
Exactly.
You're just like running around, just like firing on guys, and you're just like
one man army type shit.
Yes, exactly. And then, of course, one grenade gets a little too close to him, and he gets got.
Yeah, got a bit of shrapnel.
Right. And then he goes into a shed and starts improvising. And
takes the vest off, and they nailed him pretty good on his side. Now, they have this little shed surrounded.
Oh, yeah.
Before this happens, he looks up and sees like a couple pitchforks and some axes around. It's like...
Oh, and don't forget circular saw blades.
What are you going to do that? What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
So they unload into this little shed. Now, as anyone might expect, nobody aims for the top, the roof area of the shed because, wow,
it's a man hiding in a shed.
Odds, right?
If anything else, I would think that he's either laying on the floor or he's crouching.
Yeah.
That's the first idea you think,
right.
But not Colonel John.
Oh no! So they pepper it real good.
Oh yeah,
Mom's like, go check it out, see if his body's in there.
You did in there.
See if his body's in there.
See if he's dead.
Go get the body.
If he's dead.
And they open the door, and the dude gets pitchforked straight through the chest
from above.
Yes, he was splayed like fucking Spider-Man.
Right. Surprise,
lying in wait. He drops down, throws a couple saw blades.
Oh yeah.
Takes one dude's entire scalp off.
Yeah,
and another in the throat. And then he just walks out with a fucking axe like a slasher villain, and then just takes him down, no problem.
True dwarf energy.
Right, it's rock and stone.
He just throwing axes.
Oh my god,
I love it. It's great.
And then he picks up one of the machine guns, and from there he's golden.
Oh, dude. Well, because it's the belt fed.
Oh yeah,
it's a big gun, and at that point you're like, oh, now we're donezo.
Yeah.
He's shirtless and has a belt fed rifle. You're done.
Fucking invincible.
He's invincible now.
He's tougher than when he had the vest on.
Right. You thought he was in his final form. That's his final form, right there. I don't think. I mean, you were all afraid before, but you definitely should be afraid now.
That vest was for your protection.
Oh man!
Otherwise, you'll be blinded.
Exactly.
By the sheer magnitude.
By the sheer size of his pecs.
Fucking ridiculous.
Right.
A simple flex will send you flying.
And it's perfect because he's holding his rifle with one arm, in the wedge of his bicep, and he's just holding the belt of bullets.
Yeah,
feeding it into the gun, and just his whole chest, because obviously it's a big gun.
Right.
Is just his chest is rippling, and he's as any good Arnold Schwarzenegger impression in that moment, he is just cold, not
stone-faced.
Flatline mouth.
Oh yeah,
just so focused, and he's just you're like, oh my god, man. And again, the camera keeps cutting between that shot and just people
falling left and right,
and just gracefully flying through the air,
motherfuckers doing pirouettes. It's like a fucking ballet performance.
It's so great.
It's amazing.
He makes his way through the complex, and then at that point he has his shotgun as well.
Yeah. We got one dude hiding around a corner.
Oh. He had the guy had the upper hand.
All the advantages in the fucking world.
John comes busting through and is like, Jenny, trying to find his daughter, and the guy just
where's my daughter?
The guy's just holding his rifle around the corner, going,
please don't let me.
He comes walking in the hall.
Somehow, for some reason, to turn around the corner with his gun.
Right.
And he's immediately mowed down.
I mean, doesn't even get a shot off. Yeah. Gets blasted. You're like, damn, guy, you have one job.
I mean,
hey.
You tried at least. At the very least. And then he comes to blows with the fucking...
the president guy.
The warlord.
Yeah.
And of course he doesn't stand a chance. They have a little shootout, a little back and forth every now and then.
They got they're little. He's throwing a couple shots. Pow, pow, pow,
right,
pow. Yeah. There's a little bit.
And then he takes him out. Triple shot from a shotgun
from a far distance.
By the way, how about that fucking shotgun?
Can
we talk about the volume on that thing?
I'm telling you, there's one point in time that I know. The audio in this film is pretty well balanced, but there's one sound in particular I thought was so funny they made sure that the microphone is inside the chamber of the shotgun.
Right.
Whenever he's in the garden and he's whenever he drops, I think his main rifle, and he pulls out the shotgun for the first time in this garden area.
Yeah. Slowly working through his arsenal.
Exactly. He blasts a couple of guys and goes, and I've never
the loudest fucking thing. I mean, it's louder than the gunshots.
Yeah, and but it's not it's not ear piercing or whatever.
Right,
but
it's not obnoxious, but
comparatively speaking,
really funny.
I've never heard a more crystal clear chambering of a shotgun, and I was like, man, because again. Not as a shotgun have a good sound, it's great, but chambering a shotgun feels good and it sounds good. So I mean, I don't blame them for there's it's a bunch of chaos. There's gunshots, but you hear that and you're like, oh damn,
it's here we go.
Here we go. And he's like, bow,
they're ready,
bow. And you're like, damn, dude, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, he blasts
after he takes out the entire terrorist
everybody.
faction. All that's left is Bennett.
Oh yeah.
Now, his daughter has escaped during all this.
Right. She's gotten crafty.
Mm-hmm. She didn't quite follow her father's training, but she did her best.
I mean, hey,
rather than ripping the boards away from the window and just walking out,
instead of
killing everyone in her path.
Instead of bodying the entire wooden barricade like you should have done. Mm-hmm. Breaking away a board, is not a bad.
She made decent progress.
Exactly,
it's a passing grade.
You're savvy. That's the most important part.
Right.
You didn't just lay down and take it.
Nah. He taught you better.
Taught you better than that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
she flees into like the bowels of this mansion that
this is a boiler room or
seems like
something.
more like a fucking factory than anything else.
I don't know what's going on there.
All sorts of pipes, like a furnace.
Right. I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of these action movies always end in some sort of like industrial complex.
Yeah.
There's a lot of metal pipes, a lot of big hot things.
Right.
There's a lot of
just a dangerous area.
Just a dangerous area, but like also just like there's like metal grates, metal stairs. It just feels, because I feel like the same thing was with like the original Terminator.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
definitely.
There's even like I think maybe not Alien, or was it Aliens?
Yeah,
Aliens I think has
worse.
Kind of like
you're
that.
In the hangar of a ship.
Maybe yeah.
While it's in space.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But anyways, there's a few other ones I think we watched as well that have a very similar vibe of like industrial battle.
The Matrix.
Yeah, The Matrix.
In a fucking train
station.
You're
right. I forgot about
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
Now, Bennett has captured his daughter.
Yeah.
Again. Like he's just got her.
Right, yeah. At knife point. Yeah.
Right. He's doing what he should in this situation.
Right, yeah.
keeping himself alive for as much longer as is inevitably possible.
No, I'm sorry. He has her at gunpoint at that time. He has a gun right there, and he ends up shooting in John's direction, and John is unarmed.
Yeah.
Grazes his right arm.
Yeah. So he takes cover, and then Bennett's like, "How's your arm, John?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come over and find out." It's so good.
It feels so
because you
natural.
know he can still kill him, no problem.
Yeah,
he doesn't need one arm.
Right.
It's amazing.
And I love this part because he really. This is where he knows him so well.
He knows exactly what's going through his head.
He knows what makes him tick, and it's so. And I love this point because he's sitting there and he's like.
Like I could kill you right now. One bullet, pick your head out.
Not even that. Oh, yeah, you're right. He does say that. But then,
which he replies,
he's like, "You could do that, but I know you don't want to do that.
You don't want just one bullet.
You don't want to just kill me like that. You want to
use the knife."
And he's holding his knife, his own knife, and he's like, "You want to go ahead and." You want to go and stab me real good and see what it feels like behind my eyes when you're twisted. And the whole time, I mean, this guy in the most PG way possible, John is edging Bennett.
Right.
Binging is
describing his fantasy.
And he's just sitting there holding the gun. He's like,
I don't need the gun.
I don't need the gun.
I don't need the gun, John.
And he's like, I could kill you right now. I could do it. And
I don't need the girl either.
Yeah, right. And then, but like at that point,
and he's got him wrapped around his finger.
May I say, the actor who plays Bennett, his name is Vernon Wells, and man, he does a good job of
fantastic.
He does a great job of like conveying his
that
like
psychopathic
energy.
I know,
and perfectly. He sells it real well. Just being
my
like,
favorite line is, "I'm gonna kill you now,"
and just starts
so
running.
Good.
He starts running at him with this knife,
and he's no pushover either.
Nah, dude,
it's part of the same unit. Of course he isn't.
Yeah, so they start. He starts swinging.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a few good slices in there,
and I love this because again, compared to this like epic gunfight where he's just like mowing down goons.
Oh yeah,
it could have been like an easy, clean gunfight, but I loved they really built up. They really built up this one thing.
Fisticuffs.
And I'm telling you, there's nothing more like intense than just having like a Bowie knife fight, or just like just bare hands.
Oh yeah.
At a certain point, man, it gets so intense.
Now here's my question.
Okay.
Seeing this fight scene.
Yes.
Do you now understand why I enjoy the final fight of Metal Gear Solid 4 so much? Snake and Liquid fighting barehanded on top of a fucking submarine.
I feel like I get it a little bit, but I think the fight with Snake and Liquid for me, my suspension of disbelief kind of like the what's it called? The mortality of it. Whereas this felt like we got two regular guys that are really good at what they're doing, but regardless, they're still meat bags,
right,
with knives being thrown at them. Whereas for that fight,
Snake and Liquid are genetic freaks for all intents and purposes.
But then not only that, like multiple times in the fight, do they like get really into it, and they inject themselves with that good juice.
Yeah,
and then before
the fucking drug fight.
Yeah, and then they keep getting themselves back up.
Yeah.
So for me, like there becomes a point where like that could have been cool if it was like done a little less, or if it was like they only did like once or twice, where it's like, oh, okay, now. Yeah. But for me, it's like they just do it like it gets drawn out enough. Where for me, like the stakes don't really feel like they're as a edge of your seat worthy for me, at least. But that's just me.
I mean, yeah.
But
as a game, I think it fits better.
Yes,
in that scenario.
100%. Yes.
With a movie, it'd be different. Like
of course,
with a movie, you'd feel like, man, this is
kind of drawn out,
going on a while.
Right. And for me, like I don't. The hard part for me is like I know sparingly about the characters.
That's my mistake.
And I don't
that's
know.
My fault.
I don't know. And I know now, kind of the lineage, I guess, or the
dichotomy.
Yeah, right, or like the whole relationship as a whole.
I still really want to play through those with you. By the way,
right.
It's gonna be so much fun, dude.
So I know
it's gonna be fucking insane.
So I think it's like a multi-tiered problem for me that kind of built, because I've also never played it myself, so I don't know the struggle of it. I've only ever seen like you play it and like play it pretty well, even like a harder difficulty, or I've seen someone else play it and like do it like a perfect run, and you're like, so it's like for me,
right.
I
get you.
But so for this,
that's on me.
For me, it's fine. The only thing that for this fight sequence specifically is like, again, we're getting to a point now where like we're getting to the end, and we're also like, you've really taunted the crazy man with a knife to come and just start swinging at you, and he's just like, and he's getting at it, and like, and he gets him in like in his abdomen area, like pretty pretty good
slice.
And it's like, it's that kind of stuff where it's like, oh man, we're getting like, oh shit.
My favorite bit is when he's like, "You're getting old, John.
Yeah,
you're getting old."
Right.
And he's got him like after a while, he's got him like up against a wall, like right next to this furnace.
Oh yeah.
And he's just wailing on him.
I mean,
like, how does it feel, John?
Yeah, how does it feel to be
how
a dead man?
How does it feel to be a dying man?
Yeah.
You're dying, John. And he's just like, bullshit. And he just claps back with the biggest haymaker you've ever seen.
It's so good. What a great fight sequence.
I fucking love it.
It's a really good culmination of those two characters.
Oh yeah.
And then I mean, in the most cartoony way.
I think my favorite bit is whenever Bennett rips one of the doors to the furnace off.
Yeah.
And just throws it at him. It's like, oh, dude.
Yeah, holy shit. Towards the end of the fight, he ends up like pushing him away and ripping this pipe off of the wall.
Yeah.
And Bennett ends up getting a gun and he's gonna shoot at him. But then he just like javelins this like huge pipe segment into the chest of Bennett.
Yeah, it just goes right through
and
him.
I think it goes right through him and busts the tank behind him, and it starts like releasing steam out from the pipe hole out of his chest.
And what does he say? Of all the things, what does he say?
The camera is, I mean, I wouldn't even give it the benefit of saying head and shoulders. It is full face action of just Arnold. And he's standing there and says, "Let off some steam, Bennett." And at that point, I'm like,
not my wildest dreams would have come up with that.
I'm out. I tapped out.
Man.
But
it's
man,
the final one.
Yeah. And then of course, as the military helicopters
Franklin
land,
finally catches up to him. He bears witness to the fucking catastrophe.
And I would wager, hear me out, that the 8 to 10 guys on the beach the goons that are left, I would wager those are the only guys left in the entire complex.
Probably.
There's maybe, like I said, somewhere in the ballpark of anywhere between 5 to 10 guys.
Mm-hmm. They're all dead, bro.
They're all facing towards John Matrix as he like holds his daughter with one arm.
Those are the Marines.
Those are the good guys?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were just the rest of the goons.
Oh no.
Because they definitely turn around and they're like, oh shit, and they just like walk away.
Right.
And at that point I was like, man, that's crazy.
Like, all right, job's done.
There you go. So anyways.
Franklin seeing this is like, bro,
yeah,
you gotta come back.
I'm thinking about reopening your division.
All you gotta do is come back. And he's like,
nah,
not a chance.
Crazy. Until
bro.
next time, he's like, nah,
nope.
not a chance.
Nope.
I want to just throw out before we round out this episode because we're already out of time. It says
God,
that
it's been a
I know. According to Alyssa, the actress that played the daughter in this film, Jenny, she said that Arnold Schwarzenegger was very protective of her on set, and he even helped with my algebra homework.
Wow.
So what That's a nice amazing. Character. It says the shopping mall, which is called Sherman Oaks Galleria, the shopping mall used in, gosh, I hope if I would read correctly. The shopping mall used is the same one that was used in Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Really?
Also starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow.
Since both films wrapped, the mall has been remodeled, actually.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You just can't get away from the place.
Right. Which is crazy because that movie released in 91. So a full 6 years later.
Yeah.
The person that played Cindy, her reaction to the motel fight were filmed separately and were completely ad-libbed.
Really?
Yeah, so she wasn't actually present in the fight sequence.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What else we got? Come on now.
It says that the director really wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger to dangle the actor who played Sully over the edge without any help.
Oh
but Arnold said, "Are you crazy?" So they used a crane.
No fucking way, dude.
They used a crane to hang him off instead. So
of course,
right,
I cannot believe. That's like, funny. How much do you have to believe in Arnold that badly?
Right.
To be like, hey, you can just dangle this guy over the edge, no problem, right? It's like, no. You must be fucking insane.
Yeah. And then it said that there was supposed to be a love scene between John and Cindy, but it was deemed unconvincing, and so they just dropped it from the film altogether.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Vernon Wells, the person that played Bennett, described his look as Freddie Mercury on steroids.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Oh, here we go. Arnold Schwarzenegger performed many of his own stunts,
except for the tree.
Wait, what?
The tree on there was fake, wasn't it?
The tree?
I remember something about that. The tree, like in the opening scene, he's just carrying that big ass fucking tree over his shoulder.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Like, I think they initially wanted him to like carry an actual tree. It's like,
right.
Again, no, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it says he performed all his own stunts, as producers found it difficult to find a stunt double for the bodybuilder. The actor suffered a dislocated shoulder and several stitches during the actual shoot of the film.
Damn,
that is crazy.
Yeah.
During the scene in the shed after Matrix cuts cuts the soldier's arm off. He was
God, I forgot about that.
He was originally supposed to hit the victim with it and say, "Need a hand?"
Oh my God.
This scene was never actually shot, however.
Damn it.
As it was considered too macabre.
Dude.
Despite this, in 2007, the 2007 director's cut restored a few extra seconds of the footage of Matrix tossing the cut limb nonchalantly at the wounded shoulder, as most likely a lighter alternative to the blatant hitting with it.
Oh my God. That's insane.
That's awesome.
I wish they would have kept that.
Neither hand.
Oh my god.
It says Arnold and Vernon have remained close friends ever since making of this movie, actually.
Oh, nice. That's good stuff.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What a ride.
It says that there were 54 stunt performers listed in the credits, 17 more people than the actual cast.
Jesus.
So there was more stunt actors than there were
that
actual
paints
actors.
a picture for you.
Well, that mean I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of all those were those people in the final the heyday freaking run.
Mm-hmm.
After Cindy fires the rocket launcher, she says she learned how to use it because she, quote, read the instructions. While the line was intended as a joke, if you look closely in the earlier scene when she and Matrix stock up at the surplus city, there is indeed an instruction manual for the weapon in the shopping cart as Cindy wheels the cart out of the store. Also, many items of military equipment, especially LAWS, or I guess Laws rockets, portable missile launcher, and the like, have instructions printed right on it themselves.
Amazing. So, it's like the spanker from Halo.
Exactly. So it's just there.
Just tells you how to hold it.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
It said that Arnold can bench press at the time over 450 pounds.
Jesus.
But they made the phone booth out of balsa wood anyway.
Oh,
so they
good.
made it out of wood.
Of course.
So
I'm never going to get over that scene, dude. It's so good.
That's crazy. After filming one scene, Arnold Schwarzenegger told the director to never give Vernon Wells a real knife.
Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. It actually says that the cut on Arnold Schwarzenegger's forehead in the beginning of the film was real. The entire film. It wasn't makeup at all. That's crazy. Okay, cool. Well,
just keep that. We'll clean it up a bit. You'll be fine. Just a little nick. You'll be okay.
No way. It says in 3 alternate takes of Bennett's death scene, Matrix says different lines.
No
One
way.
of them being, "I hate small talk." Another one being, "I think it was too much pressure for you, Bennett."
Oh my god.
And then another one was, "I couldn't take the pressure, Bennett."
Amazing.
Oh god. Wow. These are great.
Man. I love them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So what you think? You liked it?
Oh, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
how's it measure up to most of the other action flicks we've watched, do you think?
I don't think it measures up to Cobra in the same way.
Nah.
It's its own thing. Cobra is a whole new level
Cobra.
of different film for
Right.
me. I liked this one a lot.
What else? The
I
Escape
would-
series.
What's that?
New York and LA.
Oh, even that's
Yeah.
I feel like a different beast altogether.
Just another one in the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah. I think I never really do this, but on like a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 7.
Yeah.
7 or an 8.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or I have definitely liked other 80s action flicks more.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really think I've seen one that I hated.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
good.
So it was
It's a
fun.
passing grade as far as
great.
I'm concerned.
And I'm telling you, I love that his freaking solo op mission.
Yeah.
Great. Man on a warpath for his daughter.
Right.
Well, anyways,
Yeah. Good film.
for anybody out there wanting to get in touch with us or wanting to find us, we have a link tree /Ian Wolf where you can find all of our links, and you can, just type in the Aftermath, like all the major podcasting platforms. You can find that way.
Although, if you go Commando, you will find us.
I heard
You'll wake up and we'll be in your room.
I heard if you strip down to your underwear and you do in fact take a little raft to the shore with all your accoutrement, you will find
We'll be
us.
waiting for you on the
We'll
beach.
be waiting for you on the beach, 100%. but also if you just like hit your computer real hard,
fly or die.
Yeah. And you tell it works every time, just right there. It'll pop up instantly.
Simple as.
But anyways, until next time, thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Bye-bye.